Hey people, hey people, how you doing? Hey people, what's going on? I know majority of us are busy with work, with projects, with tasks, but I'm just here to chip in one or two things. Probably something that will help us to do more, to do better at our places, on our projects, on what we're doing. Yeah. I know majority of us want to do more. I know we want to do more in our engagements. I know. And so I'm coming around to bring in some few ideas. Yeah. I'm coming around to let us deliberate and discuss on some few things that will help us do more, do better. Recently I posted a video where I said majority of people get to a junction when they said, I have done my best. But we've got to be careful with this kind of word of I have done my best because there's no reward for the best. There's never a place where anybody gets reward for I have done my best. And so the only reward for I have done my best is results. So before you say I have done my best and you quit, try to re-strategize. Try to sit back and see how far you've been doing things and try to redeploy your strategy. There's no one way to the markets. There's so many ways to the markets. So I'm saying there's so many strategies to achieve idea, to achieve a project. And so it is not just about one direction. So if you've been approaching a project idea for so long time with one strategy, so when you get to that point where you begin to feel that it's not working and you want to quit and you want to say, I have done my best, try to sit back, reflect on how far you've come. Try to reflect on how far you've been doing it. Try to check the strategies you've been deploying so far. Look at it from both sides. Look at it from different angles. You can learn from people on how they've been deploying their strategies. You can try to collaborate, work with people. On many occasions, a fantastic idea cannot be done alone. A fantastic idea cannot be achieved alone. Sometimes we need collaboration. Sometimes we need to work with people. We need to invite people. So it is not always about you alone. It is not about yourself. Let me tell you this spotlight that the best of you is in you, but the completion is in others. That is, most of the times, to complete yourself, to do greater things, to move mighties and move mighty, you can really not do it alone. It requires some level of collaboration. It calls for some level of collaborations. And so, you've got to be careful of getting to that point and say, I have done my best. Let me tell you, your best is still not enough. Your best does not get reward. Nobody is going to reward you for your best. And so, you've got to find every means to strategize. You've got to find every ways to keep strategizing, to keep looking for strategy, to keep checking how far we've been doing it and how far we've come. And so today, I want to talk about think and work because oftentimes we strive, we do so many things, we knock the doors, but we're frustrated because the doors are not opening. We're so worried, we're so frustrated, we get tired. We work every now and then, we try, we strive, we do all kind of things, but it doesn't look as if we are doing anything. It doesn't look as if we are working because it's not showing results. Because what we are getting does not match the effort. Yeah, this happened to so many people. And that's why you have so many analysis that say majority of people are frustrated on what they are doing. That majority of people are frustrated with their jobs, with their works, with what they do daily. Yes, people. There's no how you will be deploying wrong tools. There's no how you'll be doing some certain jobs and not be frustrated because we are not deploying our jobs. We are not deploying our work rightly. And that is why I want to talk about think and work rightly. Think rightly and work rightly. Because what precedes every great achievement is planning. And planning is a product of deep thinking, clear thinking. That is, for anyone to live and live successfully, there must be a point when they sit down and critically, clearly think on the direction, on the path they want to follow. You cannot achieve anything in life. You cannot go anywhere in life if you do not spend some quality time to sit and think on the path you want to follow. And so every great path, every great achievement is a product of deep and clear thinking. Yeah. And it's really not that majority of us are not thinking, but we are thinking wrongly. And also, it's not that we are not working, but we are working wrongly. And that is why I tag this: think rightly, work rightly, and become great and be successful. If you can align your thinking with your work, you'll be great. And let me tell you what your work should address. Your work should address the result you generated from your thinking. That is, if you are able to think clearly, and while you are thinking, what are those things you're supposed to be doing while thinking? You're supposed to be asking the right questions. You're supposed to be asking the right question. And that's why I said, majority of time we think we are thinking, but we are not thinking rightly. We are probably worrying. So what we do is not thinking, we are worrying. We are worrying about what we have seen we want to achieve. And we are worrying about how we can achieve it. Sometimes we are worrying about how heavy, how big that thing is, and how we can just click one button to get it. That is worriness. That is not thinking. You know, if you have built your tower in the sky, you don't have to be worried about what you have placed in the sky. Just leave it there and come to the ground. Begin to lay the foundation, put the bricks, put the block, and begin to build your tower gradually. But majority of time, we saw what we want to become, who we want to be like, that path we want to follow. And instead of us to calm down and begin to clearly think around it, begin to ask deep questions around it. I mean, when you saw someone that you want to be like, you mean probably a professional, probably a superstar that you want to be like. So instead of you to begin to worry on how you can become that, the next step for you is to calm down and begin to ask those questions on how did they become that? What are the things they've been doing over the period of time? What are those things they committed themselves to do daily? These are the things that are supposed to be going on in your thinking room. These are the conversations that are supposed to be going on in your thinking room. Questions. You know, the quality of your questions determine the quality of your life. I think Tony Robbins said this more clearly. He said, the quality of your life depends on the quality of questions you ask. And this is fact. This is so apt that whatever you generate out of life is a product of the quality questions you ask daily. And in your thinking room, what should be going on there is questions, deep questions, like, what do I want to be like? Who do I want to be like? What do I want to become? Okay, if I want to become this, what do I need to achieve that? Okay, who are those people who have achieved that? I mean, who are the people who are already living the life I want to live? And then I begin to ask the question, what are the things they've been doing over the period of time? What are the things they commit themselves to? And again, you will check how long they did it before they break through. Because most of the time, the frustration comes from when you start and you spend the first year, the second year, and you are not seeing results. The result is not showing to people. And then you begin to get frustrated that, oh, I've done this for 2 years, I've done this for 1 year. But if you are able to ask critical questions to know how long most people that are living the life you want to live spent before they even get it. You know, if they spent 20 years, if they spent 10 years, and you are in your second year, definitely you will calm down and you know that you are still on the path, because everything is a journey. Everything is a path. There is no big thing to greatness. It's about the small things that you keep clicking every day. And this is why our thinking must be right. We must be thinking on those things we'll be doing every day, those things that we commit ourselves to do. And if you are able to think, generate the right questions, and you are able to get answers to your questions, then everything you do daily, your work is to address the answers you have actually gotten from your questions. So the answers you generated from the questions that emancipated from your thinking room, those questions that emanated from your thinking room, the answer that you supply to them is the work you're supposed to be doing. And that's why I said your thinking must be aligned with your work. So you must be working the answers that you generated from your thinking room. When you are in your thinking room and you're able to say, okay, this is what I want to do. Okay, then you sit down, how much will it cost me? Or how much time will it cost me? What are the skills it's going to require me to get it? And then when you are able to answer the question, okay, this is the skill, this is the capital, this is what I will need to achieve that. Okay, how long is going to take me to put this capital together? How long is going to take me to achieve this and acquire these skills? Okay, where do I need to go to acquire these skills? When you are able to put answers to all these questions, then your daily activities, your daily work, your daily task, your daily engagement should address the answers that you have put down. So the answers you got from the deep questions, quality questions you ask, is what your work should follow. And that's why majority of us are frustrated, because our work does not match our questions, because we are not even asking questions. So we are not thinking, we are worrying. So because we are not thinking, so we are not generating questions. And because we are not generating questions, there's no answers to follow when we are doing our work. And until we begin to have this kind of thinking strategy, until we begin to think in this direction, that in our thinking room is more of questions, it's more of deep checking those spots that our life require, checking those areas that really matters, and then generating questions around them. How can I go about this? How can I solve this? How can I address this? How can I do this? How can I put this together? So when you are able to supply answers to all of these questions, then your work should be about the answers that you have supplied. That every day when you are stepping out, your job that day is to address part of the question. Your job every day is to address the questions that you have answers, that you have supplied answer to. And as you are doing this work every day, before you know, you are getting closer. You are getting closer to that path that you have set for yourself. You are getting closer to that direction, to that goalpost that you have set. And so your work must be the answer to that answer you generated from your thinking room. Are we following, people? Are we following? And so it is really important for us to be careful of what we do daily, of what we engage on, because our work daily must align with those questions we generated from our thinking rooms.
Selamünaleyküm.
Hello?
Türkçe?
Oh, talk to you, Kabi. English.
Türkçe İngiliz ha. Ben de İngilizce bilmiyorum kardeşim. Türkçe İngiliz ha. Ben de İngilizce bilmiyorum kardeşim.
Oh,
Hayırlı yayın.
And so we must find a way to align our thinking with our work. We don't just go about working. We don't just go about doing things We've got to do everything strategically. We've got to work according to the answers we've generated from our thinking room. And this is the only way we can lessen or we can take away frustrations. Because when you have actually identified a path and you've been able to ask questions on how you can go through the journey towards that path, and then everything you are doing daily is according to that path, it's according to the answers that you have supplied in your thinking room, then that is when you can lessen your frustration. You can take away your frustrations. So it is about thinking rightly and then working rightly. When you can think rightly, then you can get your work right. Because oftentimes it is always about, I'm not happy with my job, I'm not happy with what I'm doing, I'm not happy with this, I'm not happy with that. But the reason why the frustration is this much is because we are not aligning work with think. We are not aligning our work with the questions we generated from our thinking rooms. And so going forward, it is much important for us to begin with deep and clear thinking. And as I've said from the beginning, what do we do in our thinking room is asking questions, asking deep questions, asking clear and thorough questions about that path that we have seen, that direction that we have identified, that kind of superstar, that kind of person that we want to be like. The questions we ask daily, how did they get there? What are the things they committed themselves to? I made a video on the big thing syndrome. The majority of us, what we do in our thinking time is we're just thinking about that big thing that will click and will get us to that path we have identified. And I said in that video, there's no big thing in life. Every big thing that you see is a product, it is accumulation of the small things that is done over the period of time. Every big thing that you can see in this life is a product of small things done consistently, done over the period of time. So it is you that you are seeing the big thing. The big thing that you are seeing is like the final point. It's like the destination. The destination is a product of some things that has been done consistently over the period of time. Yeah. And so we have to be careful of focusing on the big thing. We have to be careful of spending our time in our thinking room, thinking about that big thing that we have to do. It is finding out those basic things. It is finding out those small things that we need to commit ourselves to daily. That every great people we see, that every superstar that we see, it is doing some certain things over the period of time that got them there. So when we go to our thinking room, we begin to ask those questions around things they did over the period of time. What are they doing every day, every second, every hours? And then we commit ourselves to doing that. And so for us to take away frustration from our life, we've got to find a way to begin to think rightly and then match our thinking with our work. We don't just work. We don't just step out to do whatever, just to do anything. No, we've got to align our work with our think. We don't just do anything. You know, life is more of choices. And every day, every second, we are making choices. We're making decisions. And every point, every decision we make shapes our life, shapes our destiny. But majority of us, we are not conscious of these things. But our choices, our decisions, at any point we make a choice, at any point we make a decision, it shapes our destiny. It has direct effect on our destiny. That every step we are taking, every choices we are taking every day, every minute, the answer is going directly on our destiny. The result is going directly on our destiny. And at the end of it all, we will see the results. We will see the reward. I can clearly align this with the book written by Napoleon Hill, that Think and Grow Rich. That if you can really think clearly, you will grow bigger. If your thinking is stem from right questions, you will definitely grow bigger and you will go wider. But most of us, we are not thinking, we're worrying. And what is basically our worriness is about what am I going to do to just get there? What is that button that I'm just going to click now that will take me there? And this is worriness. And there's nothing you will click that will get you there. There's no button anywhere in the world that you will click and get you there immediately. No. It is about finding those things, those small things. It's just like building your house. You start with the foundation, and then you begin to lay the brick, the cement, brick, and all of that. This is practical. This is the reality of life. The foundation, the first brick, then the cement, then the next brick, until you complete your house. So a house is like your life. So you run your life just the way a house is being built. You run your life like a system. What is the first thing? What is the next thing? What do I need to commit myself to do? And so this is what I feel like sharing with us today. I know majority of us are still busy with work. Some of us are busy doing our running projects, moving from here and there. But I feel like if we share a little idea like this, it can help us more. It can help us to do more. It can help us to lay back, relax, and try to review what we have been doing so far and how we've been doing it. On that project that you are running, you can try to relax a bit. Try to check how you have been doing it so far and generate more questions, generate deep questions. You know, probably you have been doing that project and you have not been able to get the headway. You've not been able to see clear paths to it, but you have been struggling here and there. You have been pushing, you have been pressing, but probably you just need to relax a bit and try to see another direction. Try to re-strategize. Begin to think more clearly. Let your project follow the answers you generated from your thinking room. Don't just walk. Don't just do it. Don't just jump on the project. Don't just jump on idea. Spend quality time to ask quality questions that will guide everything you will do on that project, that will guide everything you will do on that idea. That is why they said it is not about work. A lot of people walk, a lot of people do so many things, but it is not about, you've got to walk, but you've got to walk rightly. We've got to walk, but we've got to walk rightly. If it is by work, so many people, majority of people would have become super rich. But most of them are working, but still struggling. So the answer is not just about the work. The answer is about working rightly. And how do we work rightly? It's about aligning our work with what the question we have generated from our thinking room. So we've got to lay back a bit. We've got to relax and begin to think more and begin to ask more questions. Ask more questions. You know, there is this particular statement I read from Strategic Thinking, that every problem, every conflict, every crisis, it's more about a particular questions we have not been able to ask. So every frustration most of the time is about a particular question we have not been able to ask deeply. So we don't have to rush it. We don't have to now we have received idea. We've got the project. But executing it is not the first thing. The first thing is about relax back, reflect deeply around it, ask the right questions, collaborate with the right people. Collaborate with the right people. You know, I was recently talking about people, that when you are talking about people, you have to carve it into two. You have to talk about the collaboration, the people you will collaborate with, and then you talk about the people you will deploy your idea to. But majority of people focus more on the deployment side. Now I've got this idea, I've got this product, I want to push it to the people, I want to push it out. So we neglected the people we need to collaborate with to achieve that project, to achieve that idea. So when you are looking at people, you are looking at it from the two perspective: collaboration perspective and deployment perspective. You got idea. You need people to work with to execute the idea rightly. Don't be too stingy with your idea. Don't be too stingy. You need people. Have you seen any organization that is run alone by the owner? No, there's a need for people. There's a need for collaboration. You need you need people on board to achieve the idea. You need collectiveness. I've said it from the beginning that the best of you is in you, but the completion is in order. It is in collaboration. And so, onward, let's begin to do our thinking rightly. Let's begin to readdress our thinking room. Let's begin to reorganize, rearrange our thinking room and begin to include deep and right questions. If we can ask the right questions, the problem can be solved. If we can ask the right questions, the frustrations can be taken away. When you are on an idea, when you are on a project that's probably when you have done your thinking, when you have done your search, you know that the people ahead of you spent about 10, 20 years on that project. So you are just spending 2 years and you are frustrated. No. You cannot be frustrated. No matter how strategic you probably might be, an idea that somebody spent 10 years, if you are that strategic, maybe you will spend 5 years, maybe you will spend 4 years. But now you are just on your second year and you are frustrated. No. No. And these are what strategic thinking and deep questions address. It helps you to take away frustrations when you are still on the journey, when you are still on the path, when you are still pushing, when you are still addressing some certain things along the way. You can't be frustrated. And at every point you are waking up, at every point you are stepping out, you are so assured that something is happening, even though people have not been seeing it. Even though it is not yet out there, but you are seeing the result. You know that something is changing. You know that something is moving. And so it is not about people seeing the result. It is about you seeing the change that is going on. Don't worry, people will see the results. That's why I said majority of what is going on in our thinking room, it's about people, it's about wanting people to see the results. Wanting to push the result out there. But there's a time to that. There's a process to that. There's a journey to that. It's going to come, and it's going to come even beyond your own imagination. So just keep spending the quality time. Keep spending keep following the pattern, the process. It's going to kick out. It's going to work out. It's going to come out beyond your imagination. So stop frustrating yourself. And stop worrying and begin to think. And so I want to leave you to go on your project. I want to leave you to go on today to begin to have the understanding that there must be an alignment with think and then work. And you must think rightly to work rightly. That everything that your work should be addressing, it should be the answer that is generated from your question room. When you have deeply think and you have deeply questioned and you are able to generate answers, that answer should be your blueprints. Those answers that stem from your thinking room should be your blueprints to work. That everything you should be doing should be addressing that blueprint that is generated from your thinking room. So I wish you all the best as you strive, as you are climbing the mountain, as you are going through the path. I wish you all the best. And as you begin to think rightly and work rightly, I'm sure The door you've been knocking will soon be opening. Wish you all the best.